G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Hello everyone and welcome to Casual Rage 172, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. There's not really a lot to talk about this week, to be honest with you. It's probably a good thing that we left that Star Wars Theory video for a bit of a better EFAP, I guess, this week. So we're going to be watching that. There is a little bit to talk about. It's all leading up to the Acolyte, ladies and gentlemen. The Acolyte is coming, and it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. Not glorious in the way that they want it to be. It's not going to be glorious in the way that they want it to be, but it's going to be fun for us, I feel. We got a little bit of Mando news. I wanted to talk a little bit about Assassin's Creed. There's some Lego stuff I wanted to go over, and Seal of the Week. So we've got a couple of videos that we're going to watch, obviously Star Wars Theory being one of them. And we'll probably watch one of Grizzy's videos, to be honest. Man, he does such a good job. He does such a good job, and he does a job that I wouldn't be able to do. To sit there and watch through multiple Star Wars shills, basically. Doing their shill face, and they're clapping, and they're laughing, and they're like excited, and we're back, and let's go, and all of that stuff. It would do my bloody head in, I tell you. It'd do my head in. Anyway, let's quickly say hello to the chat and see who we've got here. We've got Star Wars Marvel Purist. Justin's in the house. Now, after the stream, obviously, force choke the like button. But after the stream, I'm going to be over on his channel, and hopefully we can finish talking about the Plagueis novel. We got to chapter 10, I believe, which does mean that there's, 20 chapters left to get through? I don't know. I got a lot to do today, and I fucking slept in. I literally only just woke up, that's probably why my eyes look so sleepy, because I, didn't wake up that long ago. I woke up at 10:30, because I streamed last night. I don't know if you guys noticed, but over on my Twitch, I played some Need for Speed. Streamed for 3 hours. And I didn't get to sleep until, I don't know, all hours of the morning. I can't even remember what time it was. It would have been 2, maybe 3 in the morning, something like that. So I slept in, woke up at 10:30 and thought to myself, oh, I've got 2 hours until I start. And then I went back to sleep, and because I turned off my alarms, I didn't wake up until half an hour ago. Something like that. So, anyway, we're here. Miss J, I see you in the chat. Obviously, Dr. Coffin Nails, good to see you. Mud Crab, I'm so excited. Finally, Uncle Ray. I think maybe it's Ray. I hope it's not Ray. We'll be able to get some Stargate. Sorry. Right? Yes, Stargate's coming. One day. Tyranizilla's in the chat. How you doing? King Chris, I see you. Who else have we got? We've got Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. Good to see you. Darth Ghostface, always pleasure. Who else have we got? Mr. Bantham. Mike Hill. Star Round 7. Usual Suspects. I see all of you. Thing I like about the intro is we get to see the long lost Lego Yoda. That's true. I don't even think he's in this clip that I've got. Hold on, where is it? Let's see. I don't even think he's in this one because I don't think I had it back then.
R4. Pass just in the spare part canisters.
No, he's not there.
Red 2, standing by.
Red 11, standing by.
Red 5, standing by.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil!
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, then you are lost!
That was like back when I first set like this whole thing up. And now it's so dusty and dirty and damaged. Like the X-Wing, I don't know where they've all gone. They've all broken off and I've obviously put them, I think I've got them down in the tub downstairs. But like, look at this. This is from Eric and Charles. So there's only one. This one's missing. And everything on this side is missing. And it's because they like pushing up against it. So they snap it off. So yeah. But in that video, they were so fresh and clean and undamaged. I'm actually thinking about, actually, as soon as we're talking about Lego, let's just go straight to the Lego thing that I was going to talk about. How about that? If I missed anyone in the chat, thank you for being here. All the lurkers, thank you for watching or listening, whatever you're doing, thank you. Smash the like button and subscribe and all of that good stuff. You know, let's see. Should try to make that abomination of Starfighter the TIE X-Wing hybrid using Lego. That'd be interesting. They'll probably come out with an actual build for it. You know what I mean? Oh, look at that. It looks crooked now, doesn't it? Oh, it looks really crooked. Maybe. Anyway. Yeah, like I probably wouldn't have to come up with anything. Oh, they're fighting. Can you hear that? Surely you can hear that. I see Grizzy, people acknowledging Grizzy in the chat. Hey, how you doing? And Darth Ghostface with the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Dude, appreciate that. If you aren't familiar, if you haven't already, you do need to click accept on the gift memberships. So if you've already accepted a gift membership somewhere, I think you only ever have to do it once. I don't think you have to do it for each channel. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But yeah, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. We've got the nuisance birds in the chat. I see you, Blake. Where is the member perk to see Rhino build Star Wars Theory in Lego? Well, we're going to watch a Star Wars Theory video. We're not building Star Wars Theory out of Lego. That's ridiculous. I've seen people doing those like, it's almost like a picture that you put on the wall and they just like stack. It's like an individual, but then sometimes they might make some pieces stick out a little bit. It's pretty cool what some people do with Lego. All right, speaking of Lego, I saw this. Like, I haven't bought any Lego for a long time. A long time. What was the last thing I bought? I think it was the Yoda. I'm pretty sure it was. I know we built that, the big Y-wing, and we built Yoda, and I don't think there was anything else that we built. If there was, I can't remember. The streams are on the channel, and there are time lapses as well for those streams. But I saw this and I was like, man, I want that. I want that. And it's this. The Barad-dûr. Excuse me if my pronunciation is really bad. But like, it's 5,500 pieces roughly. It's fucking huge. Like, if you didn't see those other pictures, like, look how tall that is. You'd want that spire to be really fucking strong. But apparently the detail in it is awesome. There's like 12 minifigs that come with it. Like, imagine that, just fucking in the middle here. Like, originally, I was actually thinking about getting Darth Vader's, like, castle on Mustafar, because that thing looks cool. It's nowhere near as big as this. Probably be half the size of this. But I just got turned off buying Star Wars Lego stuff. Man, I need to blow my nose. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me grab a tissue. I'll be right back. Keep looking at this beautiful thing. We'll go to this picture because that's like pretty much complete. All right, that's better, I think. But yeah, how cool does that look? I want it. It costs $450. Is that US? That wouldn't surprise me if it was US. $800, it says Star Round. That sounds more like Australian. Let's have a look. I'm not going to share my screen while I do this. Let me bring it up. What's it called? Barad-dûr Lego set. $945 on eBay. There's one there. Let's take a look. There's one for $700, but you got to pay $100 postage. Fuck. There's someone here selling them. This is again on eBay. $957, but you pay $130 postage. What is this? $990 and you pay $909 postage? Oh, sorry, $209 postage? No, I can't, at the moment, I can't justify spending that kind of money. Everything right now is being funneled into my US trip in October. Everything. But there was the, Darth Vader. Why did I forget how to spell for there for a second? Darth Vader castle. Lego? Yeah, see, this is... Let me bring this up. Oh, it only shows that one. When you actually think about it, like... Actually, I won't bring it up in eBay. That's... See, but this set is only like... What, $300, 400 at most? Let me show you this. If you haven't seen this, because this is really cool. I want to build. I love building Lego, so like it gets annoying when I haven't bought anything or built anything for a while. So this is let's see if we can go to images. Yeah, so like that. That's got nothing on that Lord of the Rings one though. Nothing. Like, it's cool. You got the back. It's cool. Even better if you get the light kit for it. But imagine getting the light kit for that fucking Lord of the Rings one. Like, man, that thing is sick. But see, then also too, on top of that, I've been considering buying this. Problem is it's not released yet. It's a pre-order. Let me show you. Action figures. Let's actually just go through some of these together. So I've been thinking a lot about the fact that the cats do damage to the Lego and they can fall apart because it is fucking Lego. And as much as I love building it, and most of it's still pretty well kept intact, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been damaged. But I started thinking, like, what about Hot Toys or statues or something like that? So I started just looking. So you got Mall there. They're all pre-orders. So this was the one that I was considering getting. Like Revan. It looks so cool. It looks so wicked. And you could pose him in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like, how cool does that look? So that's the one that I wanted to get. That's the one that I've been thinking about getting. And what is it? $450. Pre-order. Look, you got Jack Sparrow. You know, like, there are, like, obviously little pieces with the Hot Toys and stuff, but I don't think that the cats would do as much damage to those as they can do to Lego. I would hate if they lost a piece or something. That's Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2. Look at this. You got Ahsoka from... Doesn't say, just as a Padawan. It's obviously from the Clone Wars. The DeLorean, that's cool. Yeah, so I just started looking into like statues or and I've got a mate that's got like he's got a great collection, but he went away from the Hot Toys and just went directly to like statues, like just they're all solid, like no pieces, or they do sort of come apart, like a whole arm comes off or something, but they're not like, you know, these Hot Toys ones, they're so pliable, like they're, you know, the way that you can move them and pose them is you got so much more options with Hot Toys. But the statues are really cool too. It's got like a really cool Superman one. It's got a cool Batman one. what are some of the other ones that he's got? Oh, he's got a wicked Rambo one. Rambo, the one that he's got looks fucking awesome. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. But then I saw that Lego set and I'm like, oh, I want that. I want that so bad. It's more the challenge of building it and putting it all together than even owning it, really. I love it. Anyway, it's cool. But like I said, everything right now is going or being just held to make sure that I've got enough money for my US trip. That's first and foremost. So I think we'll put aside the Lego for the moment. Maybe I'll buy it for my birthday, December. Buy myself a birthday present. Anyway, that's Lego. Let's move into. All right, let's just talk quickly about the Acolyte. So we are literally now around the corner from the Acolyte releasing. In fact, what is... I'm so prepared here. Acolyte release date. June 4th. So what? We've got... Oh, fuck. It is closer than I thought. We're what? Basically two and a half weeks away from the Acolyte dropping. 2.5 weeks. All right, that's even more exciting. All right, let me bring this up. It's even more exciting for all the wrong reasons. G'day, Soul Assassin. I see you. Yeah. Maybe. If they did a Malik one, I'd buy that one too and just have Revan and Malik. Bastila. If they did it, I'd get it. Just to sort of complete that tiny little set, if you know what I mean. Anyway, here we go. So, the Acolyte creator, Leslie Headland, expresses her love for the Clone Wars. My favorite episode is The Wrong Jedi, which I believe is that episode, the one where Ahsoka walks away from... Of course, it's that fucking episode. She would have been sitting there weeping and crying. I definitely took some inspiration from that. So her Acolyte character, you know, that black chick with the braids and everything and the purple, I feel like the inspiration that she's going to take from that episode will go into that character. You know, walking away from her master and all of that sort of thing. It's pretty obvious, really, when you actually think about it. If they didn't do that, I'd be very, very surprised. Very surprised. But it doesn't surprise me that she's taken inspiration from Filoni's Star Wars. I know that this was around when George still had control, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, it is still Filoni's Star Wars, right? It's still his stuff. And how much he loves Ahsoka and how much emphasis... And I mean, we watched that little clip last week of him saying how, well, really, Ahsoka is more Luke Sr. when it comes to, like, being a Jedi and all of that kind of thing. She's had more training and, well, yeah, in a flawed Jedi Order, she's had a lot more training. She's had a lot more training in lightsaber combat. I would agree with that. But it doesn't necessarily make Ahsoka Luke Sr. I don't think so anyway. I don't think so. Well, I wonder what it would have been like if Ahsoka was around for the actual EU. And like how that would have been portrayed from the writers of those books. But see, that back then they didn't, there was no expectation that there were any Jedi that actually survived after Order 66, except for obviously those main ones. I mean, look, even in the EU, there are Jedi that survive the actual onslaught of Order 66, but they, do get hunted down. Vader does hunt them down. And that's the other thing that I don't like. I think I mentioned this about the Inquisitors and stuff like that. It takes away from Vader's menace, you could say. What, he's just throwing out orders? You go here and kill this Jedi. You go here and kill this Jedi. Technically, maybe you could say, yeah, okay, Vader hunted down those Jedi and destroyed them, but he wasn't the one. He just delegated, basically, chores to the kids. So that's, I don't like that. But, like, this is trying to plead to, a lot of the Disney Star Wars seals out there, which they're already all on board for it, Leslie. You don't need to preach to them. Maybe this is because the promotion of saying, oh, it's a prequel to the prequels wasn't working, that now you've got to say, oh, I've taken inspiration from, like, the Clone Wars and other Star Wars stuff that you like, Their promotion for this show has been horrible. Absolutely horrible. Going back from when we first had it announced, going back to Star Wars Celebration. I mean, let's just we don't have a lot on the agenda today. We got a couple of videos, and yes, I don't want to be going nowhere near as long as I did last week. I don't want to be going 4 hours. I did 4 hours last week because I tried to make up for you guys for not making it the week before because I wasn't well. But let's just take a look. Hold on. This is going to be painful for all of us to watch, by the way. Painful. All right. Here we go. Let me bring this up again. Oh, it's so funny too. This is Star Wars YouTube channel. The Acolyte is their banner. The Acolyte is their banner. Okay, that's horrible. 191 views. We haven't even seen this. This isn't like an official trailer. Let's take a look. What's the like, dislike? Oh my God, even that's ratioed. 7 up to 8.3 down. It's not, but again, like, look at the view count for something like this. Man, this has been destroyed. Destroyed by fans that are disheartened by the bullshit that Disney is producing. We're going to scroll down a fair bit here. No. Hang on, it's easier if I look over here. No, fuck. This is only... Yeah, we're back to a year. Here we go. There's another one, isn't there? Oh, yeah, that one. Okay. We're going to watch a little bit. Certainly not watching the whole thing. Did I used to like Dave Filoni? I was impartial to Dave Filoni. I remember watching the Clone Wars originally, and I have look, I have a bit of shame to admit it, but hang on, let me just say this. I did like the Clone Wars when I originally watched it. The problem for me was after talking with Ryan and Lethal, especially those two, about the Clone Wars, and they were showing me or telling me what the problems were with the Clone Wars, it started opening my eyes a little bit more. Like, I was almost one of those guys that would sit there and say, oh, it's Star Wars, man, there's no way that I could not like Star Wars. So yes, I used to enjoy the Clone Wars, and now I can't stand them. What? Pause, you bastard. According to open airlock policy, there's going to be a sex scene in the Acolyte. Well, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was a lesbian sex scene or something. It's so funny. Even this video's ratioed. 184 upvotes to 4,800 down. Oh, wow. Yeah. She came in her pajamas. Oh, no audio. You guys got no audio. I shared the sound. Is that better? Look at her in her fucking pajamas, man.
Talk about an entrance. That was a catwalk. That was fashion show worthy.
Yeah, I just try to treat everything as if we're on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's kind of like my just work the runway, work the runway.
You worked that runway.
Ugh.
I thought, what a tough act to follow. Jon Favreau just discovered our gatekeeper and was marveling at being on Navarro again. And then here you come. And you did it. You did it. You understood the assignment. Leslie, so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much.
All right, let's get to the nuts and bolts of it, shall we?
Now,
Oh.
I'm a big fan of the person to take a stab at bringing the High Republic to life in live action with your show, The Acolyte. What's that been like for you?
Oh, we don't want to know
Well,
what
it's
it's
so
been like for
exciting.
her.
I mean, as somebody that grew up both with, obviously George's films and then the release of the special editions, like for a long period of time, I'm not going to age myself, but the extended universe and a lot of that
Expanded.
publishing was really the only Star Wars that I had. And so
Bullshit.
what I love about the High Republic is that it's kind of in the grand tradition of what Star Wars was for the fans for a really long time,
What?
which is, both these kind of high concept, beautifully rendered stories, but at the same time, pulpy action and the kind of stuff that
Okay.
we all
I haven't watched this before. I've seen clips of it, the bit where she's like, Star Wars saved my life, and she's crying and stuff. But I actually haven't watched this. And what she just said, actually, I've got the perfect clip for this.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That was just word gibberish. And this is the one thing that I've noticed with Leslie Headland is she's a lot like Kamala Harris or whatever the fuck her name is. There's a lot of words coming out of the mouth, but those words don't equate to anything of any substance. There's no meaning behind them. It is just word garbage, drivel coming out.
always love and adore about Star Wars in the live action. So I wanted to have the opportunity to bring both of those things together was so exciting to me. So from a narrative standpoint, that was the case. But I have to also say, I really loved the challenge of marrying the aesthetics of what has already been designed for the High Republic and what the Jedi look like in the High Republic, and bridging that gap between who they are then and who they are when we meet them in The Phantom Menace. So that was also very exciting.
Well, I feel like you failed that big time, because what you've done and what we've seen in the trailers so far doesn't show me that that's what you've done. I feel like this is just the classic case of Disney Lucasfilm and Disney Star Wars, is that their worlds seem really, really small. Like there's no expansion of the world building. That was one thing that you could almost give George credit for, going from the OT to the PT, right? That prequel trilogy, man, that opened, if whether or not you like them or don't like them, you can't disagree with the fact that that opened up the Star Wars universe massively. And it gave you a sense of scale, how big this universe really actually is. The different planets that they went to, the different types of planets that they went to. Not just going to this planet and it looking like Tatooine, and then going to this planet and it kind of looks like Tatooine. And then you got this planet over here, or this little town here, kind of looks like Mos Eisley, but on a completely different planet. That's how enclosed they've made Star Wars now. And this is the thing, is again, from everything that I've seen in the trailers, the way that I've heard people talking about it, I don't see that marrying of aesthetics and trying to go from this era and transition it into the prequel era. I don't see it.
Awesome.
Look at the crowd.
Great answer. And this is your first Star Wars celebration, and I believe yesterday you were part of the studio showcase and you got brought to stage by a Wookiee Jedi.
I did. I did get brought on stage by a character I created, Wookiee Jedi Master named Kelnaka, played by Jonas.
We all know and love.
I couldn't pass up the idea of having a Wookiee Jedi in live action. I just as soon as it was established in the High Republic that was a thing that could happen, I was like, get it in here. Let's go. Action.
Yes, please.
I like the prequels. More than lethal, less than Rhino. That's funny. It's like the scale. It's either the prequels lethal or the prequels Rhino. How do you feel about them?
We love Wookiees, we love Jedi. You know we're going to love a Wookiee Jedi.
Seems kind of like inevitable, honestly, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know something about the Star Wars timeline. The High Republic is...
In answer to that, no. In all honesty, I thought that they did Ahsoka reasonably well in the Clone Wars. Until I started seeing some of the problems or talking to people about it. However, I think it would have been better to not have Ahsoka in there at all. Way better. The thing for Anakin, having another attachment that goes badly and everything. I guess it's okay to do that, but you didn't need to. Certainly didn't need to. He had enough motivations to turn it to the dark side based on the manipulations of Palpatine and what was happening with Padme. And then his distrust of the Jedi Order, the Jedi Council, and behind closed doors, his distrust and almost, I wouldn't say hatred, but disdain sometimes for Obi-Wan. When we're all kids and stuff, we tend to rebel against your parents. Your parents tell you off and you walk into your bedroom and you flip them the bird through the wall because you're so angry at them, even though, well, basically, in hindsight, you could probably say that you deserved whatever you got. So there was enough for Anakin that they didn't need to add Ahsoka in, really. Anyway, let's keep going.
Is so far removed from most of the Star Wars we know. I know you talked about that connective tissue of the design elements evolving from where your story is to when we get to the Phantom Menace. But what's different about this era that will surprise fans who maybe haven't discovered the High Republic?
Here we go. Let's
maybe
give us something.
They aren't into the books and comics just yet. Maybe this is their first step into that.
I just want to say,
I hope, if it
look at the background. Are these people just walking out? Are these people just bailing? They don't want to hear it?
this is their first step into
If
that
this
larger
were your
world.
first step, and I hope, if it were, I hope that I do the fans proud, because it is such a beautiful, rich, gorgeous world that people should be investing into as
I don't
fans,
want the
especially,
buzzwords. It's a rich, beautiful, world. Like, give me some detail without spoiling it. Obviously, there's got to be something that you can, instead of just, oh, it's going to look fantastic, we worked hard on it, all of this kind of thing. Like, give us something. Give us something. Please give us something. Anything.
I hope that I do the fans proud, because it is such a beautiful, rich, gorgeous world that people should be investing into as fans, especially again, as a fan myself that grew up with a lot of publishing as opposed to media, because we just didn't have any media the way that we do now. I hope that if you watch the Acolyte, it does inspire you to get further into the High Republic, and the publishing phase 1 was incredible. I think it was just astonishing. I think that one of the things that would be helpful to kind of put in perspective is that we're at the end of that era and moving more into George's era of the Phantom Menace. So my question became, as a fan, when I initially pitched the show to Kathleen, which was an original idea with new characters and not connecting it to Skywalker Saga or any of the existing characters in the High Republic, what I wanted to introduce the fans to the concept too was, how do you reconcile the Jedi at the height of their power, the galaxy at the height of this age of enlightenment and peace, and who George says they become at the top of the Phantom Menace? And to me, that meant, why don't you tell a story about Star Wars from the perspective of the villains, of the bad guys? And if those bad guys are outnumbered at this point, then that means that you get this opportunity to see how the Jedi very subtly go.
See, this is the problem with that statement, I gotta say. In the original trilogy, the majority of the time we're seeing the perspective from the rebels, from Luke Skywalker, from Han, from Leia. But it's not like we don't have a perspective from the bad side, the bad guys. We knew what Vader was doing. We knew based on what actually happens, the dialogue that takes place between Obi-Wan and Luke. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was narrow-mindedly the perspective of, let's say, Luke Skywalker. And this is the whole thing. We've heard like, oh, this isn't about good or bad. It's who has power and who can wield it and all of that kind of thing. It says it in the trailer. Mr. Grant Gregory for 22 months says the message is all that is important. You racist, big what? Greek bigot, Greek boy. Leslie is such a silly sausage, but hey, at least she has human hair. That's one thing. She is so ugly. Even Harvey didn't want to grape her. That's true. That's very true. Thank you, Grant. That's funny. Yes, at least she does have human hair. Let's keep going.
Who they were in the High Republic and the Old Republic, and who they became by the time
I hate the way she speaks. Who they are and who they became. Who talks like that?
Episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, sorry. I should say, who talks like that? Half the crowd.
Awesome.
They should
and
play that.
I can tell from the way you referred to Phase 1 that you are a big Star Wars The High Republic publishing fan. I can tell. Do we have any other Star Wars The High Republic fans in the house? Who are also very excited for the Acolyte?
3 people.
I just have to say, it is such an honor to be here.
Like, Star Wars saved my life. Like,
whoa. Okay, I've seen the clip, but man, that comes out of nowhere, left field. It actually comes out of nowhere. She's talking about, oh, you guys been reading the High Republic? 3 people in the crowd go, yay! And then she's like, and does that make you excited for the Acolyte? And maybe then those 3 people plus another 3 people start clapping their hands, yay! And then Leslie Edmund, saved my life. Like, even when you saw not Ewan McGregor, what, fuck? Hayden Christensen come out and the fans are going crazy, right? And he's sitting there and he does get emotional. You can see it's completely genuine, right? The praise and that applause and everything overwhelmed him to the point where he got a little emotional. Now, he didn't, scrub me, saved my life. Thank you. Like, he didn't play it up like that. It was a genuine emotion. It looked real, all of that sort of thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm with ya. But it was still genuine. This comes out of fucking nowhere, man.
I know that
Oh, and it completely changes. Let's watch that again.
it is such an honor to be here. Like, Star Wars saved my life. Like, I know that
The crowd claps, stops her, interrupts her little sulking thing. And it's so funny how she's almost trying to hyperventilate.
it's like, even the truth is, like, we are so spoiled now with Star Wars media. I know that it can feel sometimes like, well, I like this thing and I don't like that thing, and if you don't like the Acolyte, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
No one's gonna like the Acolyte.
The reality is that Star Wars, in and of itself,
how did you
is
go
not
from
just a vast
hyperventilating
universe
and
full of
crying
many-
to this? This is the person making the Acolyte. And this is the person that came out at Star Wars Celebration to talk about the Acolyte and said nothing. I don't want to watch anymore. I don't want to watch anymore. God. She actually said nothing. She actually said a whole bunch of nothing. Did any of that inspire you to want to go and watch The Acolyte? Well, if that didn't do it, then maybe this will. Oh, fuck, it just jumped on me. Hold on. Oh, it jumped back to the top of the fucking page. What is going on with my internet? Come on. What the fuck, man? Yeah, my internet's running really badly. I don't know why. Oh my God. Fucking another ratio video from Star Wars Celebration. 723 up to 4K down. It just got destroyed. And they're continually getting destroyed. Oh my God. Come on. Oh my God, I paused it. Why is it doing this? All right, we're just going to try refresh.
Characters that you're playing in the Acolyte.
Okay, here we go. So if Leslie didn't get you excited for the Acolyte, perhaps maybe some of the people in it will get you excited for the Acolyte.
Now, can we talk a little bit about the characters that you're playing in the Acolyte? What do you want?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll keep it biggish. Jody, can you tell us about your character?
Okay, well, let me try to talk about this without getting fired or murdered. So my character, you know, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader. Yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited to kind of be that, because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
I love to see it.
And you know, she's really sort of going through a struggle, because I mean that's Star Wars, right? Like going through a struggle. Yes. She's really kind of like
You got no idea what
this
Star Wars
sort
is.
of quandary,
Going
and
through a
that's sort
struggle.
Of her journey is to kind of go through this struggle between two ideas.
Very nice.
We're gonna leave that one right there, because I like in my heart I know Leslie is somewhere.
I know, I'm looking around for her, like, you know, such an actor, like looking around, like, is it okay? Did I do good?
Now, Rebecca, can you tell us a little bit about your character?
So dumb.
Yes, I play a Mary Allen, an elder Jedi master.
Great.
Now, Rebecca, like Charlie Barnett, you two
That's
worked
it.
with Leslie on Russian Doll. So what's it been like collaborating?
All right, then we don't need to watch anymore. Did that get you excited for the Acolyte? Did that get you excited for the Acolyte? No? No? Oh, perhaps this will.
Who trained you?
Neo. Neo trained me. It was actually Neo and Morpheus.
Star Wars: The Acolyte.
Did that get you excited? Yeah? Yeah? Feel like clapping your hands? Do you? It's going to be a disaster. So, the Acolyte is what, 2.5 weeks away? 2.5 weeks away. Oh, and if it drops on the 4th, that means... it depends on what time. Because the 4th in America is the 5th for us, which is Wednesdays, which means I miss Happy Hump Day again. Anyway, that is that. All right, so the Acolyte, we're done with the Acolyte stuff. Now, I saw this, and I haven't even looked into it yet, and maybe I should have, but I wanted to just share this really quickly. Maybe we can try and figure it out together. So Star Wars Holocron, he puts this tweet out saying, Fourth Sister was, with an unexpected highlight of Tales of the Empire. It's always it's always so interesting when Star Wars takes a background character like the Fourth Sister was in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and further develop them in other projects. Now, this is the hard thing, because in Tales of the Empire, between the 3 episodes for Morgan and the 3 episodes for Barriss, there's obvious time jumps that take place, right? So the thing is that at the end of the Barriss story, it almost seems like Barriss has turned Lynn back to the good side, right? Like, she's almost turned her back to the light. She's let go of her hate sort of thing, and she goes to save Barriss. But then how far before or how far after? Well, it's got to be before. So how far before that event is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? All right, I'm going to do something. We're going to have a look. Oops. I don't think this is going to tell me. Where does the Tales of the Empire fit in the timeline? Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode... Oh, why does that only go to Episode 3? I want Episode 6. That's so silly that that's all it says. Okay, so the final episode takes place 9 BBY between 9 BBY and 0 BBY or 0 ABY. Okay. So when does Obi-Wan Kenobi take place? Let's have a look here. Obi-Wan Kenobi is 10 BBY. Okay. Well, then it works. Honestly, when I saw it, I'm like, man, that's a good question. A good thing to just check to see if they were actually able to keep those 2 timelines in check, and they were. Only just. 9 BBY. It's like between. So it doesn't even say. Like it could be because that event in that one small little episode, you can't pinpoint like a time that takes place. You can't pinpoint an actual, like, you've got to give us a broad overview of when that takes place. That's actually ridiculous in itself. That's actually ridiculous in itself. Because, like, when you look at it, I'll bring this up. When you look at it, like, these are the 6 episodes of Tales of the Empire, right? The first episode is 20 BBY, an exact year. And same with the 4th episode, because obviously that is the Order 66. So you see Order 66, so you know exactly the 19 BBY, right? But then you've got these episodes. It takes place between 9 BBY and 2 BBY. It's one tiny little event, and you can't pinpoint that into the timeline? That's ridiculous. Episode 3 takes place between 5 BBY and 9 BBY. Well, I think we could narrow that down a little bit more based on when Ahsoka attacks Morgan after the events of episode 3, obviously. Because of her appearance in Mando, right? And that attack that takes place. It's kind of ridiculous to think that this is how they're actually giving it to you. Episode 5, between 19 BBY and 18 BBY, but it's after this event here, but it's only just after. Just make it 18 BBY. But then this last episode, The Way Out, between 9 BBY and 0 BBY / 0 ABY. That's ridiculous. Because that means that the creators, Dave Filoni doesn't even know where these fucking things take place in the timeline. He'll shift it in between those years depending on what else gets made and what else ends up destroying the narrative of that. You go, oh shit, well, it can't be it can't be, let's say, 6 BBY. It's got to be, we got to make it at least 7 BBY or further back, because of this other event that maybe somebody else created it or produced it or made it. But see, Dave Filoni is the chief creative officer. He gets involved in every project at the inception phase of the project. So if he knows when these things take place, he's able to guide the storyline based off of the timeline. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. But see, I also wanted to show you guys something, right? Because, yeah, okay, it does fit within the timeline just by year, depending on when episode 5 took place. It might not have even been 9 BBY. It could have been 5 BBY for all we know. Oh, 100%. The EU had a timeline that was so clear, you could see it. So easy to follow. Now, don't get me wrong, like even in the Plagueis book, for example, when there is time jumps, it like starts the chapter or starts that part of the story by saying these events took place between this time and this time. But they're not like, it's not like this massive like 10-year gap or anything like that. Or maybe there is a couple in there that are sort of that big. But all you're really doing is following the major events that happened in that time period, within that, let's say, 3-year period or something. But this was a comment that was made on, I think it was my last Tales of the Empire video. So this is from Alpha Aurora says, so in Mando, Ahsoka was chasing and fighting Morgan to find Thrawn. Now she's just responding to a random distress call, all while being allegedly still all while she allegedly still reports as fulcrum and intelligence slash information broker of sorts of the proto rebellion. Sorry, not sure where she stands in New Republic hierarchy. Is Filoni retconning himself already? Well, this isn't new for Dave Filoni to retcon himself. Not even to retcon himself, but to retcon other people's works in regards to his characters and stuff like that. Like the one that I'm specifically thinking of there is the Ahsoka novel. And then what he did in the Clone Wars Season 7 to completely make... Oh, not even Clone Wars Season 7. It was also in Tales of the Jedi. Completely retcon that book. But I didn't even think about that. It's the first part of this that I actually want to touch on. Ahsoka was chasing and fighting Morgan to find Thrawn. That's true. She's just like, where's Thrawn? Where's Thrawn? But now, all she's doing is responding to that distress call. Was it just lucky? Was it just convenient? Maybe she was. This is the thing with Disney Star Wars and how conveniences happen, right? Maybe Ahsoka was looking for Morgan to try and find Thrawn. Somehow she knew that there was an attachment or a connection between Morgan and Thrawn. Just somehow, right? We don't know how, but we just, because Ahsoka's looking for Thrawn and asks Morgan about Thrawn, we know that that's what it is. So maybe she was already looking for Morgan to find Thrawn. But she just stumbles across this distress call, which then leads her directly to Morgan so that she can interrogate Morgan to find Thrawn. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they said that that's what happened. It just would not surprise me. G'day, Teresa. I see you. Zachariah. Good to see you as well. But you see how, like, ridiculous that they make... And this is one of the problems with them sticking to the same time period constantly, is that they're constantly overlapping stuff, but they're constantly making mistakes with that overlap. And eventually it'll get to a point where even the Disney shills will not be able to defend it. Now, there are moments now where you or me or anyone else can sit here and say to those Disney shills or Disney seals, this is why that doesn't make sense. And they will just be like, you're an idiot. And then they'll do some mental gymnastics to try and justify it in some way, shape, or form. However, it will get to a point with all of the little things like this, right? It might take them 10 watch-throughs of The Mandalorian and 10 times seeing that episode from The Mandalorian with Ahsoka in it, and then constantly trying to tie that up with what we saw in Tales of the Empire. But eventually it'll get to a point where they will see it. But the more and more of these little things that are there to be seen, these eyesores, these outpoints, right? The more times we get those, the quicker it will come, because it will get to a point where it's like, as soon as somebody starts critically thinking about one thing, they start critically thinking about everything. Problem is, these people don't use their brain to critically think. You know, your Jacobs of the world, your Star Wars Megs, your Star Wars Explains, even to some degree, your Star Wars Theories. I wouldn't say I've got a, like, you guys know how I feel about Star Wars Theory. I think he's fucking dickhead, right? But I used to like him, and I only think he's a dickhead now because of the fence riding and because it comes across to me as being completely disloyal and completely like you're wearing goggles, man. You're wearing blinders, and you're choosing to ignore the obvious. It's a choice for him. Whereas I guess it's a choice for Sixplain and all those others as well. But I think there's a lot more stupidity there. But anyway, I saw this comment. I do read the comments, guys, on videos. I saw this comment and I thought, well, that's interesting, isn't it? That's something that even I missed. But again, the people at Lucasfilm don't even need to explain it. They don't need to do anything. Because the people watching it and the people that are enjoying it don't care about the answer. In fact, if you gave them an answer, right, because of how convoluted you'd have to make the answer to ensure that it sort of makes sense in some way, shape, or form, it would probably do damage. It's better to allow these idiots to create the canon in their head, right, and just think that that's the way it is, because at least then it's that individual, right? So you might have 10 Disney shills lined up and you ask them to explain that. Let's say that situation in regards to, so Ahsoka was looking for Thrawn and she was fighting and chasing Morgan to get Thrawn, but now it just seems that she was responding to a distress call. All 10 of those people would come up with a different headcanon explanation to explain it away. I'd actually like to do that as an experiment, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't want each shill to have heard what the others have said. I want them to just go into it completely blind and then try and explain it. And look, we've gone through this before with people. I remember the side scroller stream that we did where it was almost a bit like the 3 people that liked it and the 3 people that didn't like it. And as soon as I asked the question, well, how do tracking fobs work? No one's got an answer. You know, or maybe it's DNA. If somebody says that, it's like, well, how does DNA transmit a signal? How does that work? Can you break that down for me now? But I'd like to get 5 or 10 shills, seals, whatever you want to call them, line them up and basically ask them these questions, but not allow them to hear each other. And then show that to them. Show that to them. That would be the most interesting part of it. After you've gone through all the questions, they've all answered their questions with their stupid, ridiculous headcanon. Show them each other's responses. Show them how separated they actually are when it comes to filling the gaps, even though the creators of the canon and of the lore should be the ones filling the gaps. How interesting would that be? That would be great. That would actually make a great video. That's right. Don't ask questions. Just consume product and get ready for next product. Mr. Banther for 5 says, it's funny to see Disney say the things they made before was actually trash. It's funny to see Disney say the things they made before was actually trash. And we have been saying that the whole time. The shills just I really haven't seen Disney come out and admit that it's trash. Actually come out and say like, oh, we made a mistake here. No. Where they're admitting that it's trash is by retroactively having to try and explain it through the continuation of the media. That's where they're admitting fault. And you know where the Disney shills admit that they're wrong? When they say, oh, we're back, baby. This is peak. This is fire. This is the best Star Wars we've ever had, and this is going to save Star Wars. Well, mate, I don't understand the whole saving Star Wars thing. The only way that you can think that Star Wars needs saving is for you to think that Star Wars is shit. But you don't think Star Wars is shit. You don't think it's bad. You don't think it's in a bad place. So how can you think that it needs any form of saving? Thank you, Bantham, for the super chat. And this is the thing. This is the thing. These people that do say, oh, this is fire, this is lit, this is going to save Star Wars, oh, we're back, baby, or whatever they're saying, right? It will eventually get to a point where that phrase has no more weight to it. They know it. They'll probably keep using it and keep saying it. But in their heart of hearts, they know what state Star Wars is actually in. They already know it. They already know it now. They already know it now. I was watching a EFAP video. It was clipped. It was, I think, on the EFAP clips or whatever the channel's called. And it was Mauler and some other guy. I don't know who it was. And they're arguing the side that, of Star Wars being bad. And then there's one shill in there. And they're talking about Luke in The Last Jedi, right? And the guy that's all in for it, his argument is that he's old. I don't think it was Rags. It might have been Rags. But he sounded different. Maybe he was using a different mic back then, maybe. And he just sounded different. Maybe it was him. But yeah, the only argument that he had was that he's old and he's lived like he's human. And both, if it was Rags, both Rags and Mauler were saying, well, that's not an argument. It's not an argument. Sorry, I was looking at something. But that's all they've got. They've got no, there's no depth to their arguments, is the best way to probably put it. When Mauler breaks down, let's say, a character, somebody like Reva, for example, right? He sits there and he goes back and he's like, okay, she survived this lightsaber stabbing. Let's say she did. And then this is her motivations. She wants to kill Vader because she knows Anakin's Vader somehow. But she wants to kill Vader. But the way to kill Vader is to kidnap Leia to get Obi-Wan out of hiding to expose Vader so that she can kill Vader. But then by the end of it, she doesn't want to kill Vader. She wants to kill Vader's kid because she finds out about Luke from the stupid transmission from Bail, which was a big issue in regards to Bail's continuity as a character. Mauler will break it down and give you why it's right, why it's wrong, why this, why that. But then when you get somebody that you're trying to get the other side from, why do you like this, right? And that person just says, well, they're a human. They've experienced life. That's not an answer. That's not an answer. Riff, how you doing, Riff? For $5 says, are they trying to convince us, longtime fans, or themselves? We still have the EU. Fuck Disney. That's a good question. I don't know who they're trying to convince, because they're not convincing people like me. They're not convincing real fans. They're certainly not convincing real fans when you see the ratio on that first Acolyte trailer. What, 800,000 downvotes to like 100,000 up? They're not convincing the real fans. So maybe it is just to convince themselves. You say, you repeat a lie long enough. You repeat that lie to the point where you actually believe it. Maybe that's the case. But anyway, Tales of the Empire was garbage. The Acolyte's going to be garbage, and it's going to be glorious to watch. It's going to be glorious to watch. In fact, while we were on the subject of the... Let me get rid of some of these tabs. While we were on the subject of the Tales of the Empire, let's watch a Grizzy video, shall we? Okay, if you don't know Grizzy by now, you should. We are going to drop the link to his channel in the chat. Drop it a couple of times there. There you go. Make sure you go over and give him a sub, give him a follow, smash the like button on the videos and watch the videos. All right, so we watched episode 1. Now let's watch episode 2 and 3 for the Disney Star Wars shills react to Tales of the Empire episodes 2 and 3.
Episode 2, episode 1 freaking blew me away. I'm like gonna get tissues ready. I'm like worried.
So I can't help but wonder, are the events that transpired in episode 1 gonna matter? Will they be brought up? Will episode 2 be a natural continuation of the story?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. 100%. But the reason for that too, Grizzy, is because there is a massive time jump. But the problem with that is that that does then revolve around that individual character still. So you've still got to have sort of a similar inspirations. The problem is you don't know what Morgan actually knows in that time. Anyway. Speaking of Grizzy.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for the next one. Let's go.
Oh, I've only just hold up. I've only just noticed this. Crosshair!
So now we're freaking out over the little
that's
intro
helmet.
cinematic that plays in every single goddamn
Crosshair there.
episode of Disney Star Wars on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Either that or something is slowly being shoved up her ass during this reaction.
You know what's really funny, actually, before we see the reaction, is one thing I've noticed with those like lapses of the helmets at the beginning of these series and everything that they're doing, if you go back to the early days of when they introduced that, The Mandalorian season 1, I believe, was the first time they introduced this, like, opening screen. There was a lot more, you could say, legacy characters in those flashes. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't see one, like not a Vader, not a droid, a C-3PO or anything like that. Not even a stormtrooper.
Chopper! Crosshair again!
Oh! A jar going in someone's ass?
I'm so excited, Greg.
Like,
Take it
you saw
down.
Coruscant.
Sorry, didn't mean to scream.
Beautiful. God, that is such a sexy looking ship.
Yeah, I got an erection.
Oh my goodness. ejaculated in my pants.
Path of anger. Oh my God. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the empire.
What? At least it's suffering, you dickhead.
Got a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's effing go.
Oh my God, he looks amazing. Fucking Nogri, dude.
Like, at what point do
No
fans of
greed,
these
dude.
people realize?
No greed, dude. You don't know that that's Rook? I'm actually a little bit shocked. I'm actually a little bit shocked. Because this guy claims to be, man, claims to know everything. You don't know that that's Rook, knowing that we're going to see Thrawn. And earlier in this episode, we saw Pelion. He just calls him a no-gree dude. Because he's a no-gree.
Oh, and let's effing go.
Oh my God, he looks amazing. Fucking Nogri, dude.
Like, at what point do fans of these people realize that all of this is fake?
What is that sword?
Ooh, that was clean.
Damn!
Come on, Morgan.
Damn, these fights are insane.
Get him, get her, get him. Like, I know she can't. Neither of these people can die here.
Sick. Let's go.
Ooh, the spinning.
Great commentary.
Okay, this fight is fire.
Damn, that was a
It's
good
like it's
fight.
red.
No?
Evaded.
History remembers the witches of Dathomir.
That was the other thing too, with Thrawn just appearing on that Great Wall of China out of nowhere. He's not there in the background 1 minute, and then the next minute he's there.
Why not experience?
Finally.
It makes me think of like that teleportation thing that Cecil has in Invincible, where he can just teleport like to from his office to like somewhere and then back and all of that sort of thing. That's what Thrawn did. Yay! Seal clap.
Here he is.
I swear to God, guys, it's borderline sexual.
Why not? I'm coming. I'm coming. My sexy blue boy.
Damn, Lord.
God.
God, I love Thrawn so much.
I love Thrawn so much, dude.
Oh my
He's
God.
such a cool character.
Yes, Disney Thrawn is so fucking cool, especially when he's being used to push the Force's female agenda.
Yeah, not just that, when they cuck him. Okay, so that was episode 2.
Come on. These are too short. These all need to be like 20 minutes longer.
How about
Oh,
no?
yeah.
Once again, what a strong episode. That was incredible.
I do think that was better. I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
Ah! All right, here we go. Episode 3.
So let's finish off Morgan Elsbeth's story. Let's go.
Ooh, let's go.
Open the gate in the name of the New Republic.
Now, hold on. Isn't this show supposedly called Tales of the Empire?
Yeah.
And yet 2 of the 3 episodes in the Morgan Elsbeth story doesn't even feature the Empire at all?
The New Republic?
Yes, the Galactic Empire was defeated.
That's false advertising.
Just call it Tales of the Strong Women, Filoni. We all know you want to.
Yep.
Fucking pussy ass bitch.
My world has been burning since I was a child.
Oh, what a bitch.
Kill her.
Kill her? God.
Oh, damn. Just dropping them.
Shut
Fake,
your mouth.
Yeah.
So why didn't the
Mouth.
New Republic investigate when their emissary never reported back and was never seen ever again?
That was my
Pretty
point.
big plot hole, don't you think?
Yep.
Well, fear not, because fake news Kyle Katarn is going to explain it to us
Oh.
straight from his imagination and made-up headcanon.
Let's go.
The thing is, it's possible she wasn't actually sent here and that she's doing this for personal reasons because she's from this planet and that she didn't
Are you-
actually make a record of where she was going. So if she never...
Oh, come on! Oh my God! See, it's explanations like this that I was talking about, that eventually the thread will unravel and it'll all start to not make sense. Let's hope. Let's hope. Because that's ridiculous. She wasn't officially sanctioned. She wasn't officially sent there. She had a fucking guard. She had a droid. She asked the droid to send a fucking transmission to the New Republic. Oh my God. I fucking hate headcanon. I fucking hate headcanon. It doesn't... It's your cope mechanism. Let's fill in the plot hole by filling it with my headcanon. Let's make it make sense.
Never shows up again. The New Republic might not know to look for her here.
Thanks.
Okay, now let's try to get an answer from someone who's not a complete retard.
Yeah.
Ori, get off the ship! Not the droid!
You know everyone
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know everyone was already
Morgan's
dead.
the bad guy. Morgan is the bad guy.
Well, no fucking shit.
So for this next one, just imagine that she's sitting on the toilet.
God. Oh. So good. No! I want more! Ah!
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Dude, this adds so much to the Mando episodes. Oh my gosh.
No.
Not even a little bit.
I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
God.
But learning about more about Morgan was really
That was awesome.
Nothing.
necessary. I
We
felt
didn't learn
necessary.
shit.
I felt necessary.
Necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine?
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.
Thanks, Grizzy. Thank you for that. Drop the link again. There's the link, and that's to the video. Man, that headcanon bit fucking got me good. It got me good. All right. So, Star Wars Theories video that we're going to, EFAP, obviously is everything to do with Tales of the Empire. But we're going to watch that after we introduce the nominees for Seal of the Week. So let's get to Seal of the Week. Let me go through a couple of the news things that I saw. Let me bring this up. I swear these people don't know what they're actually asking for when they ask for stuff like this. Ahmed Best says he wants to make a Jedi John Wick movie as Callan Beck. I can't even pronounce his name. Calarian Beck. Man, how do I say it? Nobody's going to be able to pronounce it for me. Anyway, fucking the Jedi Knight that saved Grogu. He wants to do a John Wick. I want to do a Jedi John Wick as Beck. And I don't even need to say any words. I just want to do 2 hours of lightsabers and people in the way. That's pretty much what we get now. I mean, the dialogue that we do get doesn't make it doesn't mean anything or doesn't make a whole lot of sense anyway. So it's pretty much what we're already getting. But I swear these people don't know what they're asking for. What about Darth Binks? They're doing that in the Lego thing. Darth Jar Jar. Mudcrab says nothing happens in these episodes. It is like showing Tales of the Rhino and have him sell a car to someone in 2018. Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't that Jedi guy that saved Grogu from some other Star Wars kids game show? Yeah, he was. He definitely was. They tried to do a little thing. To me, that's fine. Like, but they made that character that they made for that show canon and saved Grogu. All right, moving right along. Sigourney Weaver is in talks to join the cast of The Mandalorian and Grogu. The first Star Wars movie to go into what? The first Star Wars movie to go into production since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. Sigourney Weaver, eh? Force is female. God, she's aged. I mean, that's what happens when you get older, but she's definitely aged. From what she was in like Alien and stuff, man. Yeah. Sigourney Weaver in talks to be part of the cast of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Do it. It's not going to change it. If anything, I think you do a poor job having Sigourney Weaver in there, just like you did with Christopher Lloyd and Jack Black and Lizzo. Yeah, that's very true. Don't do it, Sigourney. Don't ruin your career by joining Disney Star Wars. Fucking 100%, man. Yeah, I don't know. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, so I don't know whether or not they're going to report such fake news like this. But it's not to say that we haven't seen or heard other announcements like this that have equated to absolutely nothing. So there you go. Sigourney Weaver, go for it. And then last but not least, I just wanted to share this. This is the Omega actress, Michelle Ung, sends message to fans ahead of the Bad Batch finale. We probably should have watched this before the Bad Batch finale, but we're going to watch it now and see. I haven't watched this whole thing. I just wanted to see how she's talking to the fans. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, today's the day. It's the series finale of the Bad Batch and also the show finale.
See, her voice doesn't annoy me as much but like she's putting on the Ahsoka voice too. But it doesn't annoy me as much when I just see her face.
Finale. I have been kind of low-key dreading this moment for a while. I know a lot of people are feeling excited but also nervous. So I just wanted to say, don't worry. This is going to be an ending that I hope brings you some Star Wars tears, but also some closure.
Well, it certainly didn't do either of those things. It didn't bring me Star Wars tears, and it didn't bring me closure.
Love all of you guys. Thank you for all your messages. How much it means a lot to me how much you share about what you love about the show or what Omega means to you. I'm sorry I don't get to respond to them all. I'm really bad at social media. But grab your Star Wars tissues. Get ready to cry some Star Wars.
Are they actual Star Wars tissues? They are. They've got Omega on them.
Star Wars tears, and thank you for being on this Bad Batch Star Wars journey with me and with my beautiful creators of the series. Love you guys. Bye guys.
There was nothing inherently wrong with that message. She's just excited for this season finale and she's hoping that people enjoy it. Problem was that there wasn't a lot of people that watched it. There wasn't a lot of care for it. The only people that did watch it are the people that do that. And people like me. But yeah, there was nothing wrong with that message. At least you didn't sit there and say, if you send me another hateful, death-threatening message, you racist bigot, you're no Star Wars fan in my eyes. That was fine. There was another one from D. Bradley Baker, the guy that does the voice of all the clones. And I've said this before. I got to give that dude credit. If there's one good thing out of, let's say, the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch and, you know, any clone appearances in the Rebels, it is D. Bradley Baker's ability to give each clone an individual identity just through their voice. Does fantastic job. I'll give him props for that. I will give him props for that. All right, we got one more thing that we're going to take a look at, and then we're going to go into Seal of the Week and watch Theory's video. And that is, now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, I am a pretty big Assassin's Creed fan. Well, I enjoy playing the games. There's a lot of lore that I don't know. I don't keep up to date with absolutely everything, and I haven't played every single game, but I do enjoy the games. They're a lot of fun to play. But I've heard a lot of controversy behind this new trailer or behind this new game. And I haven't watched this trailer yet, so let's give it a watch.
Who are you? Who do you serve?
All I have ever known in my life, our land, our customs, my family, burns in the name of unification.
You are still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river. Greed.
Is that what the problem is?
Power. Vengeance.
And you, will you continue down that river? Or choose another path beyond what we see?
And we must look for it together. We must learn to trust, rebuild,
and follow the blade.
We are the shadows.
That served the light.
Okay, I can already see what people are going to have a problem with. The Black Samurai and then the female chick. The first thing that I'm going to make a point on is I don't have a problem having a female in there. Like, what was it, Black Flag, where you could play as one or the other? And they were both badass. They both had unique abilities. The Black Samurai... It's definitely got that feel of the DEI stuff. Don't get me wrong. They've definitely thrown that in. And it's not good for it. And they've made it really obvious too. That was Syndicate. Sorry, my bad. It was Syndicate. I don't know. I think it looks good. I saw somebody say, "What's this music?" I didn't honestly. I didn't actually really pay too much attention to the actual music. I didn't think that was an inherently horrible trailer, but I can definitely see the DEI in there. Like, you know, how can you not? How can you not? I don't know. I have skipped other Assassin's Creed games. I liked Origins. I liked Odyssey. I liked Valhalla. I think it was Valhalla. I've liked Black Flag. Syndicate was actually good too, I think. There's not too many that I actually don't like. I don't think that I've ever played one that I haven't liked. The last good Assassin's Creed was Black Flag. Man, I reckon that's probably the best out of all of them. Just play Ghost of Tsushima instead. Now, that's an interesting thing because I actually really want to play Ghost of Tsushima, but I don't have a PlayStation, and the only way that I can play it on Steam is to then get a PSN, right? And I don't even really want to do that. Don't even really want to do that. Went downhill after Syndicate. Yeah. I know. In all honesty, I probably will skip this one because I don't have a lot of time to sit down and play it. Oh, and man, I've been enjoying playing Need for Speed again. I've nearly finished Hot Pursuit. After that, I might grab either Most Wanted or Underground. Play those again. They're just fun. Lots of fun. But yeah, that's the Assassin's Creed trailer. I can see why there's a lot of controversy out there about it. A lot of people talking about it. And it is very, very heavy on the DEI. Very heavy. Problem is like the story of it seems fine to me. Well, what we got out of that trailer. I will say, that trailer is a better trailer than any Acolyte trailer that we've got. Way better. Oh, Rhino, I heard you only need a PSN account for the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer. That's interesting. I'm going to confirm that, because if that's the case, then I will get it and I will play it. If I can just play like the campaign by myself. So that's all I really care about with games like that anyway. I don't really care too much for the multiplayer in a game like that. So if that's the case, then I probably will get it and I'll probably play that before I play Assassin's Creed, which is, whoa. Now that's saying something. Okay. I think I've got... Yep. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
I'm all the Jedi.
All right. The first nominee. Well, this isn't the first nominee. The first nominee comes, though, from this tweet, you could say. Who do you think will be the main villain in the new Rey Skywalker movie? The nominee goes to Emma, which is a she, her, pushing 40. White men with a YouTube channel. White men with a YouTube channel are going to be the main villain to Rey Skywalker's movie. Yep, me. Me and a lot of you. That's nominee number 1. Nominee number 2 comes from Darth Thunder. It says, I've really grown to like the Rey Skywalker character over the years. Do you think she will be appreciated more over the years by those who are not fans? The answer to that question is no. Big fat no. If anything, there's going to be more and more disgust and disdain for the character over the years. But it's good to know that she's growing on you, weirdo. The next one is anyone else but me think they can't. They make a cute couple. Rey and Jar Jar. The shippers, man. The shippers. Funnily enough, no pronouns in the bio. That's nominee number 3. And nominee number 4 comes from Darth Noob, which is a he, him, 23 years old. Says, this movie is great when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you it sucks, except even if... Does that make sense? Except even if I had a bitch in my ear telling me it sucks, there is absolutely no way they could change my opinion. This movie is this movie is great even when... No, what am I fucking saying? This movie is great when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you it sucks, except even if... Man, can you put pronunciation and shit in your fucking tweet? Even if I had a bitch in my ear telling me it sucks, there is absolutely no way they could change my opinion. I've read that like twice, and it's still fucking, I don't know. Anyway, let me put the poll in the chat. Let me put the poll in the chat. One, 2, 3, 4. Poll is up. Okay, so number 1, number 2. So number 1 is the white men being the villain for the Rey Skywalker movie with YouTube channels. Number 2 is that Rey is growing on you. Number 3 is a shipper with Jar Jar and Rey. And number 4 is the movie's better when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you that it's shit. And that no bitches in the ear could actually change this person's mind. Darth Noob. Pronouns. There you go. There you go. There are your 4 nominees. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Man, sorry, I need to run to the bathroom really quickly. I'll be right back. Get your votes in. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Headphones back on. Beautiful. Let's EFAP this video, shall we? And get your votes in. All right. Here we go. So this was the video that we had for last week. Star Wars Theory, Tales of the Empire, Angry Review Breakdown. Let's take a listen.
Okay. Right off the top of my head, okay? Tales of the Empire is nothing compared to Tales of the Jedi that happened last year. Not even comparable. Grievous stole the show.
I'd argue that they're comparable. They're both trash. They're both garbage. And they both do damage to not only their own canon, but like when I say their own canon, Disney's canon, but they also do damage to George's canon. They do damage to characters. And just all in all, they're just not good stories. Nobody really cares. I will say that Tales of the Empire is worse because they're basically telling 2 stories of 2 characters. One that we don't care about that is supposed to be dead. I don't, honestly, with everything that we've seen with how deadly lightsabers are in Disney's canon, I don't think Morgan's dead after what happens in the Ahsoka series. I just don't think that that's a thing anymore. And Barriss, like, nobody really gives a shit about Barriss. I know that there were people out there that were asking, like, what happened to Barriss after the events of what happened in the Clone Wars with Ahsoka and everything. But I don't think that this was a fulfilling story to give us for that. But anyway, I just... Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, they're both actually pretty shit. But see, this is the fence riding stuff. This is Dave Filoni. See, Dave Filoni is great because he does Tales of the Jedi. But Dave Filoni's shit because he does Tales of the Empire. But that fact will get ignored by Star Wars Theory. And he'll still say that Dave Filoni is still the right person for the job and still the right one. Maybe there was some meddling, some interference from good old Kathleen Kennedy, you know?
Put a chicken in, make a lemon gay! Make a lemon gay!
Maybe. Just maybe.
Vader was clickbaited hard. He literally sat
That's
in a
true.
throne, a little dinky throne, mind
That's
you.
true.
His throne's supposed to be illustrious, elaborate, look good. He had 2 seconds, walks in, and that's it. And we're supposed to think Tales of the Empire is Vader. No. Morgan Elsbeth, fine. You want to build the character, explain things that you should have explained in Ahsoka.
Well, we'll also too say that like Tales of the Jedi, at least what Tales of the Jedi did is it told tales of some Jedi. You know, there was a lot in Tales of the Empire that didn't even show us the Empire. Little snippets here, like Morgan giving that presentation of those TIE fighters or whatever.
All right, whatever. Fine. You based the whole show, half of the show, on that. A wasted opportunity. Tales of the Empire could have been about Vader. It could have been about the Grand Inquisitor. It could have been about Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati and their voyage from Order 66 onwards into Ahsoka. But instead you focus on a character that had little backstory, and then with
I like how he still brings up like Shin and Baylan in that as well. Like he's got to, it's still got to be Dave Filoni characters, but also too even the Grand Inquisitor. Like if you're going to tell Tales of the Empire, why don't you tell a tale of the Empire? Why don't you just make all 6 episodes about Palpatine and Vader moving forward with a small Jedi cell threat, something out there, and Vader just goes and annihilates? Wouldn't that be a better Tales of the Empire story? At least just telling tales from the Empire, and at least we're getting like that would be better. Way better. I agree with him on the fact that, you know, we're getting a story about Morgan. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just because you throw Rook and Thrawn and Pelion on the screen, you know, you get Ahsoka's voice at the end of her story. I got your distress call.
was killed so quickly and in such a lame fashion. Then you have Barriss Offee, who has remained one of the most questionable characters since the end of the Clone Wars. We all wondered for years, where is Barriss? Is she going to come back? Is she going to be the arch rival?
See, this is the thing. We all wondered for years, like we, meaning the people that actually watched the Clone Wars and at least had some sort of interest in what happened to Barriss. No one else. And I watched the Clone Wars and I still didn't care what happened to Barriss. She could have died off screen. She could have just been eliminated by... And that's what should have happened, to be honest with you. Either Vader or Palpatine should have walked into that prison cell when Order 66 was happening and slaughtered her. There should have been no possibility of a rival coming out of her. There should be no possibility of her being turned back to the Jedi, which eventually happens in Barriss's story. She should have been killed. She was in isolation. Those fucking clones should have either walked in there and just blew her away. Fucking fill the thing with gas, put her to sleep, and then kill her so that she can't do anything. Or Vader just walks in there, busts through any defenses that she's got, and just chokes her, and that's what should have happened to Barriss. Should have been no continuation of her story.
The nemesis to Ahsoka. She's
because also too with Barriss, she thinks that she is like the Jedi have lost their way. She is doing the right thing as a Jedi. That should have been her story, if anything. She is the true meaning of what a Jedi is, and the Jedi lost their way, and that's why she did what she did. Not that that's true, but that's what she should be thinking. But no, we don't get any insight to... See, this is the skill of a good writer. Is you can, from some of the dialogue or something that takes place, you can almost understand that person's motivations, that person's inner monologues without hearing that person's inner monologues. We should be able to see it. But no, in Disney Star Wars, it's just having that person on the screen is enough. It is enough. It's enough to make the seals clap. They don't need any more than that. They don't need any more than that.
She's the only one that could be literally the antithesis, the evil to the light to Ahsoka in some ultimate showdown. She was evil. She bombed the Jedi.
Oh, see, he just still wants this. Like, this is the thing, though. Like, he still thinks that these characters could have been done well in these stories. I disagree with that. I don't think we needed to see either of these two characters ever again.
Temple. She tried to get Ahsoka framed. She hated the Jedi. And then all of a sudden, she's a good guy. She's like some monk. She cuts off all her hair and she's all of a sudden kumbaya. And then she like gets stabbed in such a anticlimactic
And
way
survives.
by, what was her name? Lily? I
Lynn.
forgot her name. Illy? I don't know. Another character that comes and goes like that in the Reva show. Mind you, gets stabbed just like Reva and Sabine. And if she dies, I mean, where's the continuity here? Qui-Gon is literally the only one that gets shot.
Well, she's not dead. She's not dead. You got to remember the non-binary Jedi also gets slashed in the back, probably at the same sort of way that Morgan got slashed by Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series, and the non-binary Jedi didn't die.
Shafted in this whole deal. What is this? Amazing animation, amazing music, amazing lighting. The beginning parts.
I disagree with the lighting. It was really dark. It was really dark. Looks sort of stoned in that freeze frame there, dude.
Like Star Wars, the first episode with Elsbeth was amazing. It got me in,
Was it?
man. Got me so.
Why? Because Grievous was in it, and it was like the takedown of the it's so linked to the Clone Wars stuff that he was so in. I wonder if what he gave that first episode out of 10. Sounds like he gave it close to a 10 out of 10.
Oh, excited. Rewind, man. I was freaking losing my mind. I was so happy. I was so excited. Grievous was back. It felt amazing. Felt great. All right, the story's building, this and that. Elsbeth, whatever. Yeah, fine. Cool. Thrawn, awesome. Rook, Pelion, very fun. We get to learn a little bit about the Night Sisters. Cool. There's like a day sister now.
We the only thing that we learned about the Night Sisters is that there's a light side and a dark side, fucking magical fucking beings. They use the Force. You use the Force magic. That's it. Like, it's so surface level. It's so shallow.
Sweet. Barriss Offee, she's training. It's part of the Empire. Now we're getting kind of like a Sith Academy.
Oh, so he liked the first episodes of both stories. He liked the first episodes of both stories. It was what happened after that he didn't like, by the sounds of things.
Sweet, awesome, dope. Then it just trails into like she like switches up like this. All of a sudden, starts having like cold feet. I mean, just completely sucked out of the world of Star Wars, and she just changes up and becomes like a different character. Which I guess, yeah, sure. But I mean, like we've been waiting so many. It's the same thing as Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. We've been waiting so many years to see Luke in his prime because we've been wondering what's he been doing. What's he like now? Same with Barriss. We've been wondering what is she doing? What is she up to? How strong has she gotten in the Force? Is she now evil, like super evil? Is she working with Vader? Is she doing her own thing? And then they just kind of do this in like where she's like, we don't even really see her like full commitment to the dark side or anything.
That's where the difference lies for me. Like I was saying, I don't care about Barriss, and in all honesty, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Barriss should have at least been killed or attempted to be killed by Vader or Palpatine or clones when she was imprisoned the way she was. I know that there's stories about Barriss in the EU. I would need to. I don't know that. I don't know the character. you know, but if they did want her to escape and maybe flip-flop between bad and good, I don't even necessarily have a problem with that, right? But it's got to be done well. It's kind of like you're saying, she does just flip on a dime. Yeah, that's true. I think he's walked that back. But see, it doesn't change the fact that like he still rides that fence where he still tries to find, let's say, the good in, you know, the sequel trilogy.
Anything, which she was all about. I mean, she tried to literally bomb the Jedi Temple, tried to assassinate all of them, and then it turns into this, and then gets stabbed in such a lame way for a character that literally has like no meaning whatsoever. I don't know, man. I don't know who wrote this one. Not feeling it. I mean, Tales of the Jedi, by far my favorite project that has been created since 2012. Vader with a whopping 0 voice lines. Wow. Varys and Vader had so much promise. Disappointing. Started strong, ended lame. Typical Disney. This show was so disappointingly mid. I'm so tired of bad guys suddenly turning good. Yeah, you know, I got the first...
Yeah, there is a lot of that. But it's also, you don't see that with any male characters, and it's the truth. It's the truth. Whether or not you want to call me a sexist, whatever, I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. It's what we're seeing. If they're a female character and they're bad, they're misunderstood and they're actually good. If you've got a male character and they're bad, man, they're incompetently bad. Like, they're bad, you know, characters, but they can't do their job well at all.
Scent of that with Battlefront 2. How Iden Versio was supposed to be bad, and we were all excited because we were like, "Oh, cool! We're going to see her in the Empire. We're going to see her in the dark side."
If Barriss survives, I'm going to laugh my ass off. This is the thing, though, dude. Okay, I want you to think about this: Qui-Gon being stabbed. Qui-Gon gets stabbed. There's a little bit more pacing because that shield's still up. The shield comes down, and Obi-Wan has to fight Maul. Defeats Maul, and then goes to Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon, essentially, you could say, probably kept himself alive long enough to at least feel the outcome of what's happened around him, getting rid of that Sith, and Obi-Wan coming over and him at least giving his, you know, last words. How long do you reckon that is? 5 minutes? Let's be generous and say it was 10. I don't even think it was that long. Honestly, no, we can't even say 10. I reckon it was 5 minutes. Obi-Wan had that fight won in 5 minutes after that. And then he dies in his arms. Barriss gets stabbed and carried out by Lin, and there's no confirmation of death, no, and there's no confirmation that she's still alive. No, I get that. So now is the next question going to be like, oh, what's happened with Barriss? We're back to the same point that we were originally with Barriss with the fans, apparently. What happened to Barriss after Order 66? Well, now the question is going to be, what happened to Barriss after she got impaled by a lightsaber, by Lin's lightsaber? We're back to the same point that we were at. Reva gets stabbed. Not only by Vader when she's an adult, when she's older, and survives and travels across the galaxy, wounded. Because even in the time where she goes to kill Luke and she, you know, sees herself in Luke and then Obi-Wan and her have that discussion, she's still wounded. But not only that, Reva survives being stabbed as a youngling in the temple. Sabine gets stabbed by a lightsaber. Wakes up the next day with like a heated coin that was pressed on her stomach. And sort of branded her. No hole, no internal injuries. Superheated plasma. Disney ruined lightsabers. Man, they ruined Star Wars. And all elements of Star Wars. Lightsabers, hyperspace, bounty hunters, individual characters, Luke Skywalker, legacy characters, non-legacy characters. They have ruined Star Wars, not just lightsabers. They've completely twisted the rules of the universe to suit some ridiculous narrative.
Side, like, you know, that side of Star Wars, and, you know, different point of view. And then all of a sudden, drop of a hat, switches over. And I just thought that was so lame. It's like, you know, like, stick to it, man, you know?
Hey, Theory, you know who you're calling out as making lame Star Wars? Do you know the name of the person that created this show? Just guess if you don't know. Oh, your Lord and Savior, Dave Filoni. No, Dave Filoni couldn't possibly do anything this bad.
Like, let's see it. Let's see it all the way through. I mean, yeah, if you're going to turn her into, like, some sort of monk, she switched up real fast, man. It wasn't even, like, you know, a year or anything. It was just full on. They offie. Is she dead? Not sure. So vague. No, I don't think she's dead. Listen. Reva survived 2 of those. One was as a child. The other one, Sabine, survived it. Who else got stabbed and survived? I mean, I guess Maul, but that's a very, very rare case. You didn't even get stabbed. You got sliced in half.
That's
not
stupid,
everybody
though.
is Maul. Who else here?
Not everybody's
Kylo
Maul.
Ren.
That's his justification.
But at least he's powerful.
At least he's powerful. It doesn't matter about his power. It was Rey that fucking force healed him. It honestly doesn't matter about Kylo's power after being stabbed.
With Ahsoka at some point. If anyone's going to redeem Barriss, I feel like it would have been Ahsoka. See, that's what I would have liked. I would have loved if Barriss and Ahsoka eventually in some ultimate finale.
Hey, I've got to say, I don't like this idea that he's putting out there right now, but it would have been a better story than the story that we got, especially with the massive time jumps. I mean, all of this time takes place. Now, the only thing that I can say that maybe they have had, Barriss and Ahsoka have had like a conversation and there's been that forgiveness and the friendship has grown back again, all off screen, is because in that last episode when Barriss is older and the family come to her with the Force-sensitive kid, and Barriss tells the people that help her and work for her or whatever to take this child to this location, and there's a friend there and she refers to her as a she, will be the one that can help. So maybe that is Ahsoka. Maybe they did have the redemption for Barriss and everything off screen already. But again, that's stupid storytelling. That's bad. It's the same as Luke Skywalker going from this ambitious and, you know, sympathetic, empathetic, courageous hero Jedi to a hermit that doesn't give a fuck about his family anymore, doesn't give a fuck about the universe anymore, all of that sort of thing. And we see that, we don't get to see that transition. It's all off screen. Well, it's the same sort of thing with Barriss, isn't it? Her flip-flopping of going bad to good and bad to good or whatever, we don't get to get any context to why we would think that the character would end up that way. You know what I'm saying? So while I agree with him that it would have been better to have Ahsoka and Barriss like fight it out even, whatever the case may be, something would have been better than what we got. I agree with that.
Meet face to face and they fight. And in the end, Ahsoka was able to do what Obi-Wan could not with Anakin by turning her back to the light during the fight. And I truly believe that that would have been a much better ending.
It would have been
and then
a better
they team
story.
up and they fight the opposition, the big or bad, whoever it might be, and then Barriss can die. Barriss can die fighting alongside Ahsoka, maybe in some sort of like sacrificial effort, whatever. And this causes Ahsoka to go berserk, and she ends up, winning. But she has to go find herself for a little bit because she used a bit of the dark side, or her anger got the best of her, or whatever, right? Because
I don't like this idea, but it still would have been a better story than actually what we got.
Because when someone loves so much, they also have a propensity to be evil if it doesn't go their way. For example, in Legends, Qui-Gon Jinn, his girlfriend, Tall, was killed in a hostage situation. He ended up wandering the desert for days. He was on the brink of turning to the dark side. He was going mad. He was going insane. And in the end, he didn't. It was Obi-Wan's voice that kind of brought him back to the light. And they're just such cool stories from Legends and stuff that they could have pulled from. But
instead of pulling from it, though, Theory, why didn't they just adapt those stories? That's what I don't get. I still don't get to this day. Why didn't they just adapt this? Instead of plucking shit from those stories, why not just adapt those stories?
Better. Feels like this is almost generic sci-fi at this point. Lost the mystical feel of Star Wars.
It's not even a generic sci-fi anymore. It's a jumbled mess. When Star Wars first came out, and there were other people that tried to make stuff that, all this sci-fi and everything to try and compete with Star Wars. There was a reason why they didn't succeed, because they didn't have what Star Wars had. And now Star Wars doesn't even have what Star Wars had.
No, I can't say that. Like, I can't say it's lost the mystical feel, because we had the first episode felt like Star Wars. I would even say all of the Elsbeth episodes felt Star Wars-y.
I'm gonna play the clip again.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I feel like they kind of trailed off as they went on, and then we got the Barriss episode. Man, the first one felt like Star Wars, and then it trailed off. And
so apparently, the first 4 episodes, all of Morgan's story and this first episode of Barriss's story was good. So it was just the last 2 episodes that you didn't like. Look at the poll that he's got in the chat here. Rate Tales of the Empire. He's got 2,252 votes. 19% give it a 10 out of 10. 34% give it a 7 to an 8 out of 10. 29% give it a 5 to a 6 out of 10. And 18% give it below 4%. 4% or below. This is why he rides the fence, because he's got, the funny thing about that poll is that the first 3 levels mean that it's average or above. That means that 82% of those 2,250 voters think that this show was at least decent or above. That's a stupid poll, actually, when you think about it. You should have 1, 2 at the bottom, 9 and 10 at the top, 3 to 5. No, yeah, 3 to 5. No, you'd actually do it 3 and 4, and then 5 to 8. That's how the poll should be.
I always do this. It's always like good. Starts really good. The first episode, I give it a 10. All right. The Elsbeth stuff, I honestly would give that even like a...
The first episode. Now, this is the other thing too that I want to say is on one of those Stargriff streams, Theory mentioned how he does his rating system. And it's actually flawed and ridiculous. So you can't take these ratings in any way, shape, or form as truthful. But he gives the first episode a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10, Theory.
A 6 to 7.
Episode
the
2 is
Barris stuff,
7.
the first Barris episode, I give it like
Oh, hang on.
9.
We missed something there.
It's always like good. Starts really good. You know, the first episode, I give it a 10.
10?
All right. The Elsbeth stuff, I honestly would give that even like a 6 to 7.
So the Elsbeth stuff. So does that mean that you give episodes 2 and 3 together a 6 or a 7, or is it the total? But you still give the first episode a 10 out of 10, but all the Elsbeth stuff, including that first episode, is a 6 or a 7 out of 10. This guy can't give anything below a 6. He just can't. It just doesn't happen.
The Barris stuff, the first Barris episode, I give it like a 9.
Oh my god!
Fun, it was cool. And then the second Barris episode, I give it like a 5.
Oh, we got a
like
5.
And then the
4.
final Barris episode, I'll give it a literally a 1.
Oh!
I love you guys. I hope you had fun.
Oh, that's it.
It was nice hanging with you.
Again, his rating system, though, doesn't mean anything. I'd like to know if you're giving a 10 out of 10 to episode 1. Why? Because Grievous and fucking Clone Wars stuff? Fucking hell, man. You're giving all of Morgan's stuff a 6 or a 7 out of 10. You give the first episode for Barris a 9 out of 10. And then you go, 4 or 5 out of 10 and a 1 out of 10. What does that give you in regards to a total for the entire series? Still above average. Still well above average. That 10 that you gave and that 9 that you gave. Fence, sit, and chill. If he's not a shill, then he's at least a seal. At least a fucking seal. Maybe we should have put him in the poll. Anyway, let's get back to that. Let's wrap up this stream. I will be over on... Let me bring it up, actually. Star Wars Marvel Purist channel. Very shortly for the continuation of our discussion of the Plagueis novel. Star Wars Marvel Purist, where's your fucking channel at, man? There it is. I gotta eat something. I was supposed to go and get a fucking haircut today. I need to get my beard trimmed. I need to get batteries replaced in my watch and the remote for my fucking garage door. I fucking got home the last couple of nights. I get home from work and I'm sitting outside my garage door, sitting in my car, pushing the button. Come on, work. And then like it might work eventually. But yeah, there's Star Wars Marvel Purist channel. Go over and check that out. We'll be over there shortly. Justin's working the dog right now. All right. So let me bring these back up again. All right. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can get your last minute votes in. We've got 23 votes so far. It is a landslide, so I don't think we'll wait for any more because I don't think anything could make any difference to it whatsoever. So, poll is ending. Come on, show me those results. Come on. There we go. Fuck. My internet is really bad today. All right. In last place, we have a tie between 1, Emma, and number 2, Darth Thunder, with 13% of the vote each. In second place, the runner-up this week with 17% of the vote was Nazo Savant Arc. Don't know. With their shipping fucking picture. And the winner of this week's Seal of the Week with a whopping 56% of the vote was Darth Noob. You're going to make me read it again because this is the one that won. This movie is great when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you it sucks, except even if you... Man, it doesn't read well. Except even if I had a bitch in my ear telling me it sucks, there's absolutely no way they could change my opinion. Congratulations, Darth Noob. You win this week's Seal of the Week.
I'm all the Jedi.
All right. Well, that's it. Another week of Casual Rage. Beautifully done. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks to the members. Thanks to Darth Ghostface for those gift memberships too. Appreciate that. To all the super chatters, appreciate you guys. Let me just check my Streamlabs. I haven't been putting the link in the chat recently, but you never know. Some people save it and send something, nothing there. Beautiful. We're out of here. We will be over on Star Wars Marvel Purist channel very soon to finish talking about Plagueis. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll see you next week. Man, we're getting fucking close to the Acolyte. Real fucking close to the Acolyte. That's going to be fucking interesting to see. Anyway, take care, everyone. We'll see you next week for, what do we got? Casual Rage 173. Bye, everybody.
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
A few minutes? Are you kidding at the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like Dustin Crop's kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking it very cautiously.
You go away.
We bounced too near a supermarket?